Hi, and welcome to Crypto Crazy. I'm Cal, and today I want to talk to you about Ethereum and the news that's been out this week that it's become a deflationary asset, as you can see from the headline here. So, what does that actually mean? What does it mean for Ethereum in terms of price? And you may have seen this EIP 1559 and the date of July as well. And I just want to go into what that means. So, just starting off in terms of what is deflationary asset. So, at the moment, unlike some other cryptocurrencies, Ethereum doesn't have a set supply. So, it does grow every year. However, what's going to change is that the fees that are created as part of that every time a transaction happens, every time that there's mining takes place, some of it will be burnt. So some of it, because it's reducing in supply, it is being burnt, and then as a result, that's the deflationary pressure. However, it's not strictly true in the sense that it won't always be reduced, because as new Ethereum is being mined, it will increase, and a proportion of that will be, when it's being used for a transaction, is being burnt. So by that I mean, if there is more mining than actual transactions that are resulting in it being burnt, then obviously there will be inflation in it. There'll be more being created. However, if more is being burned because there is a large number of transactions, then obviously the number of um, uh, Ethereum will decrease with that burning. So that's what they mean by the deflationary period. Now, this EIP 1559 is an Ethereum Improvement Proposal, and that's going to happen in a hard fork which is named London hard fork in July. So as you can see here as well, it says some developers are actually against that too. And the reason why is because they're going to be losing some of their income. So as I mentioned here, this is pretty much what it talks about. It's a burn happening as part of the fee when a transaction happens on the network. And here it just talks about the mining gold rush and what mining actually means to these miners, people who are mining it. At the moment here it says a record 1.3 billion mining revenue in February, and 50% comes from fees alone. So that's a lot that these miners are generally getting. However, as part of this new EIP, the fees that they will get will be reduced, and there is talk of it being reduced by 50%. So that's a lot, and these are the two big pools at the moment. These are the two big pools that do Ethereum mining, Ethermine and Sparkpool, and they're very much against it, as are a lot of other people, because they're going to lose their revenue. Now, the developer saying that this is required to improve the security, to also move towards the proof of stake, the new Ethereum 2.0. But obviously miners are saying that this is obviously going to affect their income. Now, if you don't know, then just to go into a little bit of detail, Ethereum will eventually move to a proof of stake anyway. So there won't be any proof of work, which is where the mining comes into it. And there's reasons behind that. Mining was part of the earlier generations of cryptocurrencies. Now, like for example, like Cardano, they use proof of stake anyway. So that's where Ethereum is looking to move to at the moment. So what these two these mining pools are trying to do is to show that they are against this. They are very much trying to bring people on board that are anti this EIP, to show that they are against it, and I'll go into that in a little bit more detail as well. But just before I do, here it talks about with a change in the way that revenue is being made. Miner extracted value is another way that miners could potentially get their income. So here is the next point that I was about to make is about Ethereum miners plot the hash power against EIP. So hash power is very much in the hands of those two big pools. I think Ethermine has about 20% of it, and Sparkpool is just behind that as well. So by gathering all of these miners together, and if they do have more than 51% of the hash rate, then they do actually have the power to be able to make, as it says here, if they were successful, the pool would command enough mining power to make unilateral changes to the network's protocol. So that is what they are intending to do. And that's also another thing that moving from proof of work to proof of stake minimizes. It really does stop it, because from a proof of stake perspective, you would have to earn, not just mine 51% of the new coins and have that hash rate. You would have to own 51% of Ethereum, and to be own that, it'd be close to I think about probably nearly $100 billion worth. So that would be quite a large amount. And another thing that's also happening, so as a part of this new update EIP, those who do get paid in terms of their fees for the mining can be paid theoretically by any ERC20 token. And under this new EIP, it will only be in Ethereum, and that's because it needs to work as part of this burn new protocol as well. So that is something else to also bear in mind as well. So it seems like there could be some sort of negative impact, especially because these miners and developers are against each other, but because they're also planning this 51% control over the hash rate as well. So it could create some problems later on this year too. And I think that's something to bear in mind. I mean, here, as you can see, the headline, can the EIP 1559 disrupt Ethereum's 2021 bull run? And I think it'd be for those type of reasons. I think there's another article here where it's talking about it's accelerated the upgrade, and I think that's very much just kind of pushing the whole idea that this needs to be done as quickly as possible to kind of get around these type of problems. Because, like I mentioned, you wouldn't have them with the proof of stake. And here it's just more. This is an article from just today, and it talks about how it is very much they're trying to put this together and to plan this more than 51% hash rate against Ethereum, really, because of this update that's going to be happening. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of understanding what this EIP, this Ethereum Improvement Proposal is about. That'll be happening in July. It's a hard fork. It's to improve the security. It's moving towards, obviously, getting to Ethereum 2.0, the proof of stake, which will happen in the future, and that it will. The deflationary element of it is every time that a transaction happens, there is a burn rate that happens. Also, as part of this, it's affecting the income that miners can make. It'd be up to 50% of what they earn in terms of revenue. So they're very much opposed to this change, and as a result, they are also coming together to show the show of force to get more than 50%, to get 51% of the hash rate, so they can actually make unilateral changes to the cryptocurrency's protocol. So that's what's kind of happening at the moment. I think there'll be a lot of disruption with this happening. People might decide to hold off holding Ethereum for a while, especially while this is all going on. I think overall it's moving in the right direction. I think Ethereum's been held back because it doesn't have the same scalability, the same functionality as some of the other big cryptocurrencies do at the moment. They've been working on it to get to this Ethereum 2.0. I think traditionally, like Bitcoin was the first generation coin, and at the moment, it's just perceived to be digital gold. Then you had the second generation where you had the smart contracts. The third generation is like when you have the Cardanos, when they're using proof of stakes and just working at a different level. And I think the drawbacks that Ethereum had because of its generation, it's trying to overcome now. And it's trying to make its movements. That I've made a video about Ethereum before as well, and just talking about it getting to 2.0, and I think that's quite interesting as well if you haven't seen it. So there you have it. That's a kind of an overview of what it means that Ethereum is becoming a deflationary asset. Like I said, it's not strictly deflationary. It will still increase in terms of the number that is there. It's just that part of it will be burned when it's used as transaction. And like I mentioned, if more is being minted than is actually being burned, then obviously in that instance it's not deflationary because it's still increasing. It's only when there are more transactions, more fees are being burnt, or a portion of fees are being burnt, then new Ethereum is being minted, then only in that instance will it become deflationary. So it will pretty much change, but certainly there will be a reduction in the amount that's being supplied out there. So there you go. Hopefully you found that useful. Hopefully that's not too complicated. I think it's always good to know these type of things, especially what's going on with these really big cryptocurrencies and these big news. I think this is one of the really big things that's happening, especially for Ether for a while. I think the next thing will be the proof of stake movement, the Ethereum 2.0. So yeah, hopefully you found that useful. If you have, please do give me a like. Do consider subscribing. I've been Cal. This is Crypto Crazy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.